Hello, welcome to another devlog. Today I'm going to talk about a little experiment I have with capturing the illumination results on a character. So let's have a look at it. Okay, so here we've got my little female character here, and she's got there's a red light illuminating the side of her face. And what I'd really like to do with this is to be able to take an external bulb and drive that colour, and so sort of behind me you'd have a kind of red light on the side of my face, simulating what's actually happening in the game. But in order to do that, I need to capture the kind of average weight, the redness here, and put it somewhere else. So if we just run this now, you can see what's happening here is the red's coming in, and down here got some console here telling me what the average colour is, and that average colour is then being displayed on this cube behind the character. So you can see that this illumination is indeed pretty much the colour that's on the character's face, and we can check that by enabling another light. So let's put another light into the scene. So this is very bright yellow, and you can see here, let me just take our gizmos off. We can see here that it's mostly yellow, bit of red. So I can go to this and bring the intensity of the yellow down. And you can see it start to merge with the red. You get kind of muddy, yellowy red colour. So the result is definitely all of these colours combined, not just an individual value. In fact, what we can do also to show more of this is if we enable this. So I've got a blind here that's blocking the light coming through to the character's face. And you can see here that the colour has dimmed because there's not as much light coming through. So let me just show you that again. Turn it off. You can see the illumination goes up a bit. Put the blind on and it gets darker because there's not as much light coming through. So that's the basic idea of it. And how is this achieved? Well, okay. So the idea is to use a camera. So put the gizmos back on. So we've got a camera here, and you can see here that the camera is positioned right on the character's face, and I'm really interested in the light around the eye. That's the most important thing. And this camera has a few additional settings, so it's very narrow band here. So if we look at the little box the camera has got, you can see that it's just enough to capture the face and nothing more. It's got a black background, so it makes the calculations a bit easier. And the key thing is it's targeting this face render texture. And this face render texture is just literally, you just come in here and you say, create new render texture. It gives you one of these, and you drag that onto the camera, drag it onto here, and then with a script, you can analyze it. So let's have a look at the script. So the first thing I'm doing here is capturing the actual camera and then grabbing hold of this render texture off it. And then currently on the pre-render, which I think is probably not quite the right thing to do, but I'll get to the bottom of that eventually, we calculate the average color. So the first thing we do is we grab a texture, create a new texture based on this underlying render texture. We read the pixels from it and apply it to this texture. So now this texture has all the pixels coloured that we want to check. So we can grab those pixels, apply a little bit of average maths on it. If we have some average maths, then we just record that colour, and that's the colour we're using. That's basically how it all works. Just quickly show you the average colour. So the average colour is just simply enumerating over the colours. I've added this thing called a colour gate. So essentially the colours have to be of a certain luminosity before they get considered into the average. Right, so that's basically how it all works. So just another quick recap of it running. So here we are, our face here, illuminated red. In the background, it's going red, and I can come into the light and in kind of real time play around with the colours. So the idea was you could be walking into a scene and colour behind you would be changing colour as you're going. So yeah, that's the idea of it, and thanks for listening.